Lynchburg, Virginia, and Shellenberger Field, the site for NCAA Division III Field Hockey National Tournament action. It is a beautiful Wednesday afternoon, 2 p.m. start for this one. We're just about 8 minutes away from Lynchburg and Keystone facing off for the first time in the all-time series history. A pair of teams that don't necessarily meet very often in any sport, but today going to do battle with a trip to the Sweet 16 on the line right here on Shellenberger Field. You're watching LHSN, and I am Sam Graham, looking forward to taking you through another one here for this Lynchburg field hockey team, and it's been a special season so far. Coming in today with a record of 19-2, just capped off a perfect season in ODAC play, went 9-0 in the regular season, and then a perfect 2-0 sweep of the conference tournament, winning the 22nd all-time ODAC championship for the program, and head coach Enza Steele, who is in her 45th career season and taking on her 23rd NCAA/AIAW tournament appearance in today's contest. For Keystone, they come in today 11-5, champions of the United East Conference. It's been a great season, second conference championship of all time, program history for Keystone, and second NCAA appearance, both coming within the last 5 seasons. It should be a fantastic matchup today, and we will take a look at some of the numbers coming into today's contest for each of these two teams. Again, Keystone and Lynchburg facing off for the first time in either team's program history. Lynchburg coming in with a slightly better offense. Try to get you those stats up here on the board momentarily, but we'll walk through them ourselves. First, Lynchburg coming in averaging nearly 4.5 goals per game. It was a 2-1 decision over Shenandoah to capture the ODAC championship this past weekend. For Keystone, still a solid offense, a solid group, doesn't get off quite as many shots and doesn't dominate possession quite the same way that Lynchburg does, averaging about 14 shots per game and just north of 3 goals per game. But how about a 3-0 defeat over Cedar Crest in the United East Championship? 13-0 is the overall score differential from that United East tournament. It also included a win over Stockton en route to a quick 2-0 trip. And again, second all-time appearance in the NCAA tournament for this Keystone team. Again, defense will be key as well for Lynchburg. A good offense is the best defense. Lynchburg dominating time of possession. We don't have an official stat for that, but Lynchburg taking right around 75% of the total shots in its games, and that was no exception this past weekend against a nationally ranked Shenandoah team. Just missed out on the NCAA tournament. Shenandoah team that came in averaging around 20 shots per game was held to just 4, in part due to the Lynchburg defense, but more so a stifling offensive effort from Lynchburg that kept the ball in their attacking third pretty much from wire to wire. Lynchburg never trailed in that game. On the other side, Keystone is holding their opponents to right around 8 shots per game and just over 1 goal per game, so certainly not a defense to miss out on either. And they're going to have their hands full today. Lynchburg is going to look to push the pace. They're going to look to make them run. This is a Keystone team that comes in with a little bit of a deficit in the depth department. Got some great talent at the top of the roster, but just not going to be a whole lot of fresh legs. Not a whole lot of fresh legs coming from the Keystone squad. Excuse me for that pause there in the action. Anyway, we do have some players to watch today as well. We'll walk you through who those are going to be now for Lynchburg. Who else but number 19, Marlou Vendricks, the ODAC Offensive Player of the Year. Those ODAC Special Awards came out just the other day. Head coach Enza Steele was also named the Conference Coach of the Year. And Kanye Mazizi, the fantastic midfielder. Seems like she can juke out just about anybody in the country. She was named the Rookie of the Year as well. So great representation for a Lynchburg team that had 8 all-conference selections across both the first, second, and third teams. So Marlou Vendricks with 18 goals on the year, your player to watch for Lynchburg. On the other side, who we're going to be taking a look at is Angelina Morley, the senior midfielder from Deposit, New York for Keystone. A little bit of a do-it-all player. We don't want to ignore some of the offensive pieces. Maria Tomata comes in leading the team with 15 goals and 10 assists. And certainly Miranda Macia, 8 goals, 15 assists as well, will be somebody to keep an eye on the offensive side of the ball. But when we talk about that time of possession piece, it often falls to the midfielders to try and control who's going to get more shots off, who's going to spend more time in the other team's attacking third. And Angelina Morley sort of at the center of this offense and defense, just in the mix with it all, comes into today with 3 goals on the year, a total of 11 points, but also 9 defensive saves. That not only leads the team, that's one of the best marks across the country, so certainly can help out a pair of goalkeepers that she will have behind her in goal, but also her defense and her offense at large. Taking a look at the goalkeepers we're going to see today, we'll talk to you about Lynchburg first, and that will be Kayla Brady. She will wear 00, making now what is coming up on 70 appearances starting in goal for this Lynchburg team, and she's been fantastic for 3 years as the starter for Lynchburg. This year, a first-team all-conference selection after a 63 save, 82% save percentage, and .75 goal against average on the year. She's top 10 in program history in career saves and shutouts, 11 career shutouts for Kayla Brady. On the other side, we're going to see a pair of goalkeepers for the visitors. We're expecting Casey Stratton to start today, the senior goalkeeper from Ellicott City, Maryland, has a 7-1 record on the year, but imagine we will see Hannah Osbar come into the game later as well, 1.21 goal against average, 32 saves, and a 4-3 record for her on the year. They're getting ready to get underway with the national anthem first, and then game time. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back in just a moment with starting lineups between Keystone and Lynchburg.
Welcome to the Campus Recreational Department at the University of Lynchburg. We believe in a student-centered approach to recreation, making sure that all students have fun and engaging activities that promotes wellness, personal growth, and community building.
Our team works to provide a variety of recreation opportunities for all our undergrad and graduate students.
Let's take a look at the different areas of Campus Rec.
Campus Recreation covers all outdoor recreation. Our team offers dozens of trips per semester, maintains recreation facilities on campus, and offers outdoor certificates and leadership training.
Intramurals is open to all students who wants to play on a team. We have men's, women's, and co-ed leagues for each sport we offer.
Those looking for next level competition can join club sports. These are student-led organizations with the support of Campus Recreation. You can join one of our established club sports, or you can start your own with our support.
Campus Recreation offers an excellent amount of opportunities to stay active, make new friends, and develop new skills. We hope to see you soon.
Who's ready for field hockey? We got it coming up for you in literally just a few moments away. The clock has struck 2, and for the 45th and final season for head coach Enza Steele, this is the swan song, the final time, win or lose, that we will see the legendary coach, 664 wins and counting. This is her final ride, her final pregame speech on Shellenberger Field. Certainly an emotional time down below that you get the chance to take a look in on right now. Looks like Kessa Schaefer, the 5th-year and 5-time All-ODAC midfielder, is going to get things underway in the team huddle. Certainly a leader, obviously a captain, and a special relationship between her and Coach Steele. She will be looking to go out with her career as well, ending today on Shellenberger Field with a win. We will walk you through the starters for today's contest. We'll start off with the visitors, Keystone College. Gabby Lodato will start in the midfield. 1 goal, 2 assists on the year for Lodato, the junior from Union, New Jersey. She will be joined by number 5, Miranda Macia. Number 8, Vicky Monero. Number 9, Maria Tomata, the leading scorer for this ball club. Number 10, Abril Casalino. Number 12, Lucia Cicilino. Number 13, our player to watch, Angelina Morley. Number 15, Belen Rodriguez. Number 20, Bari Kidzi. And number 24, Lillian Kennedy Butler. And then, as we mentioned, number 70, Casey Stratton will make her 9th start of the season in goal. Again, a 7-1 record coming into today. 15 saves, 1.16 goal against average. For Lynchburg, it will be Caleb Brady, as always, starting in goal, wearing the double zeros in that purple jersey. Then the Rookie of the Year in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference, Kanye Mazizi, will start in the midfield, alongside Allie Freeman, who will flex between the midfield and defense. Number 9, Mallory Lamb. Number 14, Riley Cameron. Olivia Muir, who will wear number 16, Marlou Vendricks. Kessa Schaefer, Aaron Boatwright, Renee Funtiel, and Olivia Van Meter. Same starting five we've had for the last 2 games for Lynchburg, and we are underway. It does start on the Lynchburg attacking third, but that attack is short-lived. Kanye Mazizi whistled for the foul. Lynchburg deciding to go with the black jerseys today. It's a little warm outside, but certainly we've had warmer. About a picture-perfect fall day in the Hill City, Lynchburg, Virginia. First time Lynchburg has hosted an NCAA tournament game in 2 years. Last year, 17-4 record and runner-up finish in the ODAC tournament to Washington and Lee. That game went to extra time, a 1-0 victory for the Generals, who were the hosts of that game, kept Lynchburg from making the shallow 26-team NCAA tournament field. Always one of the most competitive brackets to make your way into. So Lynchburg, again, hosting an NCAA tournament game for the first time since 2021. Following a 14-8 record that season, Lynchburg hosted, we won't say neighbors, but relatively close Salisbury, the Seagulls' top 10 program this year as well, back in the NCAA tournament. Because we haven't spoken about the bracket too much so far, Lynchburg and Keystone today in the upper left quadrant. It's Marlou Vendricks streaking towards the goal. Coming out to defend her is Stratton, and then knocking the ball away. Good play by Stratton in goal to save a Marlou Vendricks potential goal. Vendricks going to strike again and off to the far side. Vendricks, an 0 for 2 start shooting. She went 0 for 8 against Shenandoah last time out. But again, not somebody who's going to get discouraged, and Lynchburg does not need her to get discouraged again. Leading goal scorer and leading point scorer for this Lynchburg team. Certainly the focal point of the offense with 18 goals on the season, 35 in her young 2-year career for the black and red. I should say the gray and red. Back we go towards the midfield. Again, that battle in the midfield, we talk a lot about attacking thirds, but it's going to be between the red lines today or between the blue lines today on the field that you're really going to want to keep an eye on. Those midfielders are going to be huge for Lynchburg. Mazizi, Schaefer, certainly going to be players to watch. Allie Freeman, who flexes between the midfield and the defense. And then on the other side, for Keystone, only starting one true forward today. That is Belen Rodriguez. Has a United East Player of the Week honor to her name this year, October 24th. 8 goals, 3 assists on the year, but strong contributions from the midfield. Angelina Morley, our player to watch, plays there in the center of the field. Miranda Macia, Vicky Monero, Maria Tomata, Gabby Lodato. It's a strong midfield, arguably the strength of this team, and a lot of those players do flex between midfield and forward. For simplicity's sake, tend to just list that primary position. Mazizi at midfield with it right now. 8 goals on the year for the first year from Zimbabwe, member of the U21 national team in Zimbabwe. She feeds it in close to Aaron Boatwright, whose pass for, could say Olivia Van Meter or Marlou Vendricks was left out of reach, rolls out of bounds. Keystone takes over again. 2 shots for Lynchburg, both from Marlou Vendricks. If you're just joining us, about 5 minutes gone by in the first quarter of the first round of the 2023 NCAA Division III Field Hockey Tournament. Lynchburg's 23rd all-time appearance, 2nd for Keystone. And how about the start for head coach of the Giants, Aaron McGinley? First season at the helm, took over this past summer. Couldn't ask for a much better start. A perfect season in conference play, a conference championship, and again, the program's 2nd all-time trip into the postseason. Schaefer breaks out in the midfield into the attacking third. Slams on the brakes. Kidsey runs by her, tries to feed it inside for Boatwright, just behind the senior as the fifth-year Schaefer was looking to work to her. Lynchburg will maintain possession, so they'll say last touched by Keystone. Boatwright currently being guarded by Lillian Kennedy Butler. It'll be a matchup to watch today. So far, it's a man defense from Keystone. Van Meter navigating through traffic, works inside. Vendricks corrals, shoots, and scores. Marlou Vendricks, the cold streak snapped, and Vendricks has Lynchburg on the board first with 9:33 to go in the first quarter. Lynchburg once again strikes first for the 16th time this season. Perfect when that is the case. Not going to see this Lynchburg team blow many leads. It's a 60-minute game, and we'll use all of it today. Certainly a number to keep your eye on as Marlou Vendricks, her 19th career goal, gives Lynchburg the early 1-0 advantage in the NCAA tournament. First tournament appearance for all of these freshmen and sophomores for Lynchburg, and it's a heavy contribution from those underclassmen, but really a great balance all around. You don't always see that. Certainly in this age of extra eligibility, and you got a couple fifth years, Cassie Schaefer, who we'll see a lot today, but Sydney Metz as well, a fifth year. Great senior class led by Brady, Boatwright, Cameron. All starters for this Lynchburg ball club. And then again, the rookie of the year, and Kanye Mazizi, offensive player of the year, is sophomore Marlou Vendricks. It's a unique combination of fresh legs and youth with veteran leadership, and everybody contributes. Lynchburg will go into that bench area several times throughout the game. Coach Steele certainly likes the 11 that she puts out first. As we mentioned, start of the game, this has been your starting lineup the past three contests. There's been a little bit of flexing in the midfield as to who gets rolled out there. And number 2, Danielle Kuhn's been unavailable the last several games. She's a starter throughout the beginning of the year. She is dressed today, so we'll see if we see her on the field later. Freeman near side, works it back across midfield. Lynchburg operating with a 1-0 advantage. Mazizi gets by her defender, works to her left. It's Schaefer. Schaefer with space goes back into the middle of the field. Trying to chase it down was Mazizi, and the whistle blows. Possession awarded back over to the visitors. Keystone takes over from the semicircle. Trying to pick that pass was Mallory Lamb. She's unable to do so, but Olivia Muir comes through and scoops it up. 2022 All-Conference selection, Olivia Muir. Marlou Vendricks, deep shot. Looks like it's tapped in by Boatwright. Give the assist to Marlou Vendricks, and a three-point start for her. Erin Boatwright powers the second goal of the day home, and quickly Lynchburg out to a 2-0 advantage midway through the first quarter. So certainly making me eat my words is Marlou Vendricks. Again, tough day at the office against Shenandoah. She has come out firing today. 1 for 3 shooting and an assist as well. We'll also note 10th assist of the season for Marlou Vendricks. Ties her for the team lead with the goal scorer there, Erin Boatwright. And a memory serves, that is goal number 10 on the year for Erin Boatwright. Boatwright, the two-time all-conference defender, transitioned to offense. So we got our first fast break of the day for Keystone. Lynchburg was good in these situations against Shenandoah. Navigating through traffic well there at first was Vicky Monero, senior from Buenos Aires, Argentina. One of 5 Argentine representatives for this Keystone team. 14 international players in total between these two teams. Strong presence from the Netherlands for the Lynchburg side of things. But if we throw in a pair of coaches for Lynchburg, associate head coach Ginny Relaford, a Scotland native. And Noah Den Hartzog, assistant coach for this Lynchburg program, also from the Netherlands. So strong international presence here on today's game. Ball is with Lynchburg. Top of your screen right now, a 2-0 advantage for Lynchburg, who's been fantastic in the first half this season. Say similar things about how Keystone has performed in the second half of games this year. 27-6 advantage for Keystone over its opponents in those third and fourth quarters. Long feet ahead from Cameron. Van Meter tried to track it down. Instead, goes to the stick of Keystone. Now a battle for the ball again here at midfield. Keystone temporarily wins possession. Then Schaefer looks to get out and running, but the ball awarded back to Maria Tomata at the bottom of your screen. Boatwright comes up to challenge her. Lynchburg trying to keep the ball this left half of the field as much as possible through this first half. Lynchburg team that does collect a decent bit of fouls. They had a crucial stretch in the Shenandoah game when the visiting Hornets, gotta make that stipulation, Lynchburg obviously the Hornets as well, the visiting Hornets got on the board about 10 minutes to go in the contest, cut the Lynchburg lead in half. They faced a 2-1 deficit, and then a quick 4 fouls committed by Lynchburg ultimately awarded a penalty corner for the visitors. Did not get a shot off of that penalty corner, and then from there Lynchburg regained domination of the game and went the last 8 or 9 minutes relatively without incident. Got to imagine this week in practice, somewhat of an effort to make sure those fouls, even if they happen, don't stack up quite in a row like that. I want to give your opponent too many fresh eyes on what's ahead of them. Far side, top of your screen, dribbling around there was Rodriguez. Lone forward in this starting crew for Keystone. It's a 4-0 shot advantage early for Lynchburg. Again, that has translated to 2-zip on the scoreboard. So efficient scoring from Lynchburg. Went 0 for 2 their first 2 shots, and then simple math would tell you 2 for 2 on the next 2. So got to be happy with the start for it. Coach ends a steal on the other side. If you're Aaron McGinley, I mean, certainly you don't like the score right now, but you don't feel like you're necessarily just being stifled. Might have to hold that thought, though, on Dorestein into the game. Just outruns everybody. Her shot into the leg pads of Stratton. Another save for the senior goalkeeper. Again, it's goalie by committee here. I'm sure we will see Hannah Osbar at some point in this game. But Stratton does come in today the better overall record between the two goalkeepers, 7-1. Slightly lower goal against average. More saves for Osbar. And a better save percentage for Osbar, who will wear 00, also a senior. A little more length for Osbar at 5'9" versus Stratton's 5'4". Freeman resets for Lynchburg. Attacking third. It's poked away. Potential run out for Keystone, but already 2 defenders back for Lynchburg. It's Cameron and Muir. Running with the ball is Monero. Another foul going against Lynchburg and their own defending third. I'll have to back up just a tad. Keying it back in here in just a moment will be Tomata. Giving defense is Dorestein. Now a switch on to Schaefer. Now Cameron has it, trying to get it out of there. She'll work ahead to Dorestein. Defense now given by Kidsey. Whistles blow again for a foul. Middle of the field. Monero hits the leg, it looks like, of a Lynchburg defender. Imagine it would have been Riley Cameron, but no limp or anything, so maybe it did not. Might have been a ricochet off of a stick. Take a look at it again. Working to her left. That's a good shot lined up. No, it looks like either the stick or the leg of Mazizi. If it was her leg, taking it like a true champ. No, did not appear shaken up at all. Another good first move from Monero. Now the ball taken away by Funtil, but a little bit of action here on the right side of our field at the tail end of this first quarter. 12 seconds and counting. Now under 10. Mazizi just trying to clear it out of there for Lynchburg. Keystone looks content to allow her to do so, and time will expire on the first quarter with a 2-0 advantage for the home team. A picture-perfect start on a picture-perfect day for the Lynchburg side of things, and Keystone getting in on the action on the offensive side there at the tail end of the first quarter. We will see if that continues and if Kayla Brady will have to continue to look alive when we come back in a moment for the second frame. But again, we will take our first break of the day by telling you our score one more time. It is Lynchburg 2 on a Vendrix and Boatwright pair of goals. Keystone 0.
Want to have some outdoor adventures while getting a degree at the same time? At the University of Lynchburg, we have an on-campus zip line and road course. Plus, we offer adventure trips that cost less than a cup of coffee. And did I mention our beautiful scenery? We're a university for students looking for something more than just books. Welcome to your new adventure experience.
Why reboot the internet when you can rebuild it? The internet as we know it today was built for the last 50 years, when landlines ruled and cable TV was the future. And that's why it's time for the internet as we don't know it. Where small cities have internet as fast as big cities. Where uploads are as fast as downloads. Where your digital life is never interrupted. And the metaverse isn't just a concept, but a part of life. We're building 100% fiber optic internet from the ground up. An internet built for the communities where we all live, work, thrive, and grow. An internet built for small businesses that want to make a big impact. An internet built for families with smartphones, video games, voice assistants, tablets, nanny cams, robot vacuums, and everything in between. All online, all at the same time. This is the internet built for that most hopeful of all things, the future. Because whatever the future holds, Lumos makes it faster. Lumos, internet built for the future.
A 2-0 advantage for the home team after 15. Take a look there. Hornets leading scorer and the first goal scorer on the day today, Marlou Vendrix, as always, wearing that 1-9 black jerseys today for Lynchburg. Keystone facing that early 2-0 deficit. Certainly season's on the line. You got to pull out all the stops today. Again, this is not, obviously we've seen Lynchburg jump out to early advantages. We've talked at length throughout the year. First half advantage disparities over 50 coming into today at 53 goal disparity now. And no goals allowed in the second quarter so far this year for Lynchburg. Now through 21 games, this is the 22nd. But again, this is not necessarily the total dominance in every single aspect of the game that we have seen from Lynchburg. They do lead shots at 5-1, but again, it's just 5. So Keystone generating a little bit of offensive presence, for lack of a better term, making Kayla Brady look alive here to my right of the beautiful press box here overlooking Shellenberger Field. And we'll see if that continues. Obviously, Keystone, as the visitors, awarded the ball to start the second quarter. Crossing into their attacking half for the first time today. Just about a minute gone by here on the second quarter. Only the second ranked opponent Keystone has played this season. Only other was the College of New Jersey. There's a 4-2 loss in that one. Whistle blown for a foul, and ball given back to Lynchburg near midfield. A lot of whistles going against the home team in that first quarter. Lynchburg team that does average right around 35 fouls per game. We'll get what I believe will be our first substitution of the game, waiting to come in for Keystone. Yeah, correction, first substitution for Keystone. We've had some reserves come into the game already for Lynchburg, but it'd be number 17, Karian. Christina Karian. Again, a shallow bench area today for Keystone. Only other players standing in weight as it will be Manero. Correction on that name. It's not Manero, Manero. Going to be given the green card, so a man-up opportunity for Lynchburg. Fontiel trying to take advantage immediately, then tapping it in. I think actually may have been an own goal. We will take a look at it again. For now, we'll say it came off the bounce from Fontiel, but giving chase to it into the goal was Kennedy Butler for Keystone. A little bit of confusion. Didn't have the big crowd eruption on the goal. Just sort of a weird situation here. Bounces off a couple of players, and then, yeah, I think last touched by Kennedy Butler. So I think that's going to be a team goal for Lynchburg. First one we have seen this year. Nonetheless, it does make the score 3-0, and that's just one of those moments where Coach McGinley, it's like, oh, man, facing that 2-0 deficit, that's just last thing that you want to have happen. Obviously, Kennedy Butler just trying to make a play on that ball. It's just ricocheting all over the place, just trying to clear it out of there, get it out of harm's way. Instead, it still finds its way to the back of the cage. Fontiel taking the 6th Lynchburg shot of the day. Still a man down here is Keystone. As Manero continues to sit on the chair directly beneath me. Pass inside from Schaefer is left for Anna Dorestein. Unable to corral it. Now far side with Abril Coselino. Coselino and a Cicilino for this Keystone squad. Cicilino is number 12, Lucia Cicilino. Both from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Timer almost up here on the penalty. Now Manero able to check back into the game for the visitors. Again, she was sort of at the heart of the pressure applied by Keystone at the end of the first quarter. So it's not only her impact, may have been helpful in preventing that goal. It's hard to say. Again, it's sort of a strange goal there for Lynchburg's 3rd score of the day, but more so just in first generating possessions for Keystone and then trying to make the most of them. 12 goals on the year for Manero. 4 assists for a grand total of 28 points. And interesting to note is we're now about 20 minutes gone by in this game. We've yet to see a penalty corner. Lynchburg took 14 against Shenandoah. 10 times this year Lynchburg has taken 10 or more corners. On the other side, Keystone averaging north of 8 per game. So between the two of them, over 17 corner attempts per game. Again, we've gone 20 minutes without seeing a set piece. if you're Keystone, you probably do feel like that stat on its own probably favors you, limiting those quote-unquote easier, at least more developed chances that Lynchburg may get, as we will see Danielle Kuhn enter the game for Kanye Mazizi. Short break for Mazizi. Those midfielders for Lynchburg, certainly midfielders and defenders. I mean, the whole team, obviously, but those midfielders getting a lot of steps in over the course of these games. And again, we're into the NCAA tournament now. In 11 days, we'll have our national champion. So, well, obviously, first and foremost, you're trying to win the game. Can't ignore the rest piece of things either. I'm going to try to rotate and get fresh legs wherever you can. Lynchburg already, Mallory Lamb, waiting to be the next to check in. A ton of substitutions in that first quarter. We saw Anna Dorestein check into the game, but getting things going a little bit more here in the second is, speaking of, Micah Uchis involved in that last play. Here's Kayla Brady diving on the ground, and Keystone sneaks one by her over the head of the seasoned veteran Kayla Brady. The second shot of the day for Keystone, and the first placed on goal will put the Giants on the board. And that's step one, obviously, in getting back into this game. Keystone, the first time Lynchburg has been scored on in the second quarter this season. I believe it comes from number 15, Belen Rodriguez. Now we'll get a chance to see how Lynchburg responds. I can't imagine that, Coach Steele is always as bent on some of the same stats that I may be in my approach to viewing the game, looking at that second quarter goal number. She likely does know that that was a streak Lynchburg had going for it, but wouldn't imagine Lynchburg to just roll over and say, oh no, we gave up a second quarter goal. What do we do now? I don't imagine that being the response. But Keystone, instant momentum. Manero checks back into the game. You had the own goal given up, but you respond to that and keep the deficit right where it was after the first quarter. They've still held Lynchburg just 6 shots on the day. 2 saves made by Stratton in goal. Only 4-shot disparity through a quarter and a half of this game. Cameron works ahead for Kuhn, who works ahead for Dorestein. Dorestein trying to go through the legs of her defender, Abril Cosalino. Now midfield, Manero just works backwards, back to Cosalino. Now sort of taking their time, making sure it's crisp passing here for Keystone. Not a ton of unforced errors for the Giants, and then a little contact and a conversation. There was a slight push after the fact by number 17, Christina Carrion. Give a slight nudge to Allie Freeman for Lynchburg. No card pulled out. Just a quick conversation between the official and Carrion. Again, Freeman and Carrion battling for the ball there. Freeman in her own right has drawn several green cards on the season. Now out in space, she can beat Cameron, and she does. A fast break opportunity, one-on-one situation, and the shot left off to the near side. Shot went wide from Belen Rodriguez, looking to strike again. And a stop of the clock and a green card given out. Take a look at the shot again. Brady doing a good job to come up and contest, maybe altering the direction of that shot ultimately. Sort of, that's, I want to say third time's the charm, third time's the backbreaker, I guess, for Christina Carrion. It's that time drawing the green card, and she'll have to take a seat for 2 minutes for the visitors. And now we are going to get our first penalty corner opportunity of the game for Lynchburg. And Keystone a man down for the situation as well. Lynchburg 2-0 advantage in the first quarter, extended that to 3-0 off of a Keystone miscue. Renee Fontiel's shot batted around by everybody and ultimately wound up in the back of the cage, not from a Lynchburg stick. Then Keystone responds, gets on the board. Lynchburg trying to extend the lead back to 3. It goes in to Cameron. A season-high 5 shots against Shenandoah for Cameron, and she takes her first of the day on that penalty corner. It's one and done, though, for Lynchburg. Keystone quickly gets out of that pickle. But possession does stay with the home team as Freeman looks to send it back in for Aurora Balsamo into the game for the first time today. Now Keystone does take over possession. So the first penalty corner coming at around the 5-minute mark of the second quarter. Took us about 25 minutes to get to that first corner opportunity, but Lynchburg unable to cash in on it. Cameron electing to step into it and take the shot herself. Found the back of the cage, actually the first goal of the day against Shenandoah, tail end of the first quarter. Cameron faked a pass to her left to Vendricks and then went ahead and took it herself. Powered it into the back of the cage for her third goal of the year. Spoke to her about it post-game. Said all the credit to associate head coach and head coach in waiting, Jenny Relaford. Said that Coach Relaford drew the play up. Said this time we're going to have you fake the pass and then just go ahead and take it yourself. See if you catch them off guard. And that's, in fact, what did happen. So we do turn our attention now to right side of the field as Keystone tries to crack into that attacking third again. Here it's 5 Hornets back, 6 counting Kayla Brady as the penalty is up for Karian. Sort of an interesting situation there, is doing it all by herself there was Vicky Manero. Trying to navigate through a lot of Lynchburg traffic. Cameron tries to clear it for Lynchburg. It goes right to the stick of Kidsey. Back into the attacking third. Maria Tomata weaving her way through traffic. Leaves the cross just off the mark. It stays in bounds. And out hustling to catch up to it was Mallory Lamb for Lynchburg. Unable to clear it out successfully, though. Belen Rodriguez back up over the ball. Tries a spin move. Good defense given by Lamb. Lamb whistled for the foul, so we stay here on the right side. Again, Lamb trying to clear it out. Again, deflected by Keystone. Another Lynchburg foul. It's Tomata quickly back up over the ball, trying to go fast. Tried to cross to her right and get away from the defense of Mallory Lamb. Unable to get away from her, but does draw the first penalty corner of the game. On this side of the field, Keystone going to take a crack at a set piece and try to test Kayla Brady again. Well, we have a break. Take a look at her shot disparity. It is now 7-3 for Lynchburg. So Keystone keeping the shots within reason for their opponent. They do give up on average just 8 a game. So Lynchburg certainly going to get to that mark, but they've been doing that all season long. Keystone keeping it close in that department. Now they put their fourth shot on frame, and now the second goal of the game, but they're going to say no. Belen Rodriguez with the shot. It found its way to the back of the cage, but a foul in the process. Quickly, Lynchburg looking to go the other way. Credit to Keystone's Kennedy Butler stepping up and stopping that fast break relatively all on her own. Aurora Balsamo was moving with a full head of steam, had her eyes up. Lynchburg 3 players back, trying to quickly respond and flip momentum. Now Van Meter working in space, top of your screen. Imagine she'll look for the cross. Now she does. kicked out of bounds by Stratton, but a foul going against Keystone, I believe. Check that against Lynchburg. Van Meter, a third-team all-conference selection. Having a career year is the junior from Bel Air, Maryland. Actually, same hometown as Kennedy Butler. They've been matched up several times throughout today. Fontiel wins a matchup between herself and three defenders. Then Mazizi, a crossover move, passes it off to Fontiel. Her shot a bit wide. Foul called in close on Keystone, and we'll have our second penalty corner of the day for Lynchburg, third of the game overall. So after a first quarter in which we saw no penalty corners, they're starting to stack up a bit here in the second. 40 seconds to go on the clock. And Lynchburg will send in its second penalty corner of the game. Aaron Boatwright again to insert. Cameron, Schaefer, and Mazizi, center of the field. Imagine the insert will go to Cameron. Marlou Vendrick's out of the game right now of note, so we'll see. This Boatwright actually goes far side to Fontiel, who will step into it, take the shot, nearly rolled across the goal line, sent back out by Keystone. We will stay on this side. And we're actually going to have a penalty stroke opportunity coming up for Lynchburg, and as such, into the game comes Sar Prinz. So initially the defensive save sent back out of there by Angelina Morley. That's her 10th of the year, but in the process, the foul coming in close. And here's Sar Prinz, 1 goal in the year. It came off of a penalty stroke. Lynchburg, 1 for 2 on these opportunities on the season. 1-on-1, Prinz and Stratton. As both teams wait for the shot. Whistle. Prinz. Scooping shot up and in. Caught the top of the cage. And Sar Prinz has her second goal of the season. It puts Lynchburg up 4-1. 26 seconds to go in the half. Lynchburg adds one more insurance goal on as Sar Prinz. Lynchburg practicing these shots just the other day. Pays off for the defender, Sar Prinz, called in on special teams, if you will, to knock down the penalty stroke, and a big hug from her head coach, Enza Steele. She makes her way back, smiles all around for the sophomore, Sar Prinz. Now, if you take a look on the other side, 26 and a half seconds, all that's remaining here in the second quarter. Keystone was able to put a goal up on the board, but once again, facing that 3-0 deficit, might have been feeling decently okay about the 3-1. Maybe not good, but maybe feel like it's well within range. Now, a 3-goal deficit seems a bit like a different ball game as we get into the second half. But again, as we mentioned earlier, Keystone's second half has been a place they have excelled. 27-6 is the margin with which the Giants are outscoring their opponents across the third and fourth quarters. They're going to need something similar, if not a little more special, in the second half today, as Lynchburg has opened up a 4-1 advantage on their home field through the first half. And we will take the halftime break with them. We'll be back in a few moments to break down what we saw in that first half and go over a couple of numbers to note for the second. But until then, we will take a break by telling you our score. It's Lynchburg 4, Keystone 1. You're watching LHSN.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
I wanted to be a physical therapist probably starting about halfway through college. I love the concept that exercise is medicine. You know, we're starting to discover that exercise really can remedy many of the things that we thought that only surgery or only drugs could remedy in the past. When the student comes here, it's because we believe in them, it's because we want them here, it's because we believe they'll be successful. The faculty here are devoted to their development, not only academically but also professionally. We're not so inundated with things that we don't have time to make students one of our highest priorities. We have your back. We're gonna help you through that. If you're willing to work, then we're willing to put the work into it and the effort to help you succeed.
I was really attracted to Lynchburg primarily because my dad went here. He is an alum, so I kind of had that close tie of being interested in this school. And the school had what I wanted to study. I knew I wanted to help people in the area of health and wellness, so the health promotion program was definitely a program that drew me in, and from day one I've been in love with it, and I wouldn't have chosen any different. I have never had better professors or teachers in my life, and I think here at the University of Lynchburg, the professors definitely care about their students, especially in the health promotion department. These professors want you to be educated, want you to have the experience, and just want you to feel confident going into your career path following your collegiate education. You just feel like you're cared for here and that you matter, and that no matter what, at the end of the day, you're going to be successful, and the people here really want to be here, and everyone has a purpose, and it's just a great environment to be in.
Be ready for anything, okay?
Come on, let's go together! Together, let's go! Come on! Let's go, keep going! the depth to it.
Straight? Straight up, yep. Okay.
Cool. Good one.
All right, guys, you see the meat grinder down here? Stay in the boat. Let's go.
Camera? Oh, what'd you think of that? Woo!
Get your career in the game by enrolling in the University of Lynchburg MBA program with an emphasis in sport management. This program opens the doors to new possibilities for a variety of careers, from being an athletic director or working in athletic administration to working for professional organizations, your favorite team, to running a local Parks and Rec.
Welcome back to Lynchburg, Virginia, the Hill City and Shellenberger Field, the site for today's NCAA Division III Field Hockey Tournament first round matchup between Lynchburg and Keystone. Lynchburg hosting in the NCAA tournament and appearing in the postseason tournament for the first time since 2021. That year it was a loss, a heartbreaker, 3-2 decision to Salisbury. Today, Lynchburg out to a 4-1 advantage at the break. Lynchburg enters today the number 11 team in the country, 19-2, and seeking its fourth 20-win season in program history. I am Sam Graham. It's been a fun first half, an eventful first half, and we are going to walk you through some of what we have seen so far. We'll do that first by taking a look at some of our numbers from the first half. Obviously, Lynchburg to the 4-1 advantage, a 10-4 advantage for Lynchburg in terms of shots. That's certainly within reason. If you're Keystone, you know certainly Lynchburg has gotten out to much larger advantages in terms of shots against all kinds of opponents throughout this season, including against Shenandoah in the ODAC championship game. So Keystone done a pretty good job of still putting some pressure on Lynchburg with their own offense. Obviously, those 4 goals, it's going to be tough. 3 goals to make up here in the second half, but 4 saves as well for Stratton in goal. We'll see if she comes back out for the second half or if it will be Hannah Osbar. And then again, penalty corners, we didn't have any in the first quarter, 3 between the two teams in the second quarter. And Keystone with Belen Rodriguez's score getting on the board against Lynchburg, the first team to do so in the second quarter this season. 8 shots on goal for Lynchburg on 10 shots, 80%. Certainly, Coach Steele will be happy with that number. The accuracy piece in full effect here for Lynchburg as they are out to a 4-1 advantage. Running you through the goal scores that we have had so far today. We mentioned Belen Rodriguez, the lone goal for Keystone. And then for Lynchburg, Marlou Vendricks got the scoring going, just pretty standard. Within the rhythm of the game goal, Marlou Vendricks, her 19th of the season. Then assisted on an Aaron Boatwright goal. Boatwright picking up double digits in the form of goals, her 10th of the season. Then Lynchburg, goal that will be credited to Renee Funtil. She was the last to touch it on a goal that ultimately wound up in the back of the cage. May have been batted in there by the defense of Keystone, but again, Funtil got it all going with her initial shot. And then finally wrapping it up in the scoring column for Lynchburg, Sar Prinz, her second goal of the year, coming on a penalty stroke opportunity. She was called in specifically for the moment and rose to the occasion. Her scoop shot going over the head of the goalkeeper, Taylor Stratton, into the back of the cage, top of the cage, I should say. A beautiful shot from the sophomore Sar Prinz, again, for her second goal of the season. Both of those off of penalty strokes. Lynchburg now 2 for 3 on penalty strokes on the season. Marlou Vendricks will key it back in for Lynchburg to start this second half. Again, winner of this one will advance to the, I'm not sure if Sweet 16 is technically what we're supposed to say. It's generally reserved for the basketball tournaments. We'll say the Super 16. That's what we'll call it up here colloquially. They would play the winner of York and St. Mary's. Two of them facing off later today. And it's interesting, Lynchburg winding up in that top left quadrant of the bracket. CNU, Christopher Newport, who will host the Final Four and will also host the second and third rounds, had a first-round bye. They are the top seed in this bracket. But Lynchburg drawing York and Keene, a pair of opponents that they have faced this year. The only two opponents that Lynchburg has played that made their way into the 2016 field, and they wound up in the same quadrant with each of them. And then obviously the regional rivalry with Christopher Newport. That's a team Lynchburg very familiar with. Handed Lynchburg one of its 4 losses last season right here on this field. Certainly imagine if that were how everything shook out, Coach Steele and this team would be happy to have a rematch there. The two teams did not face this year, but again, got a long ways to go in this first round matchup. It's a Keystone team that has risen to the occasion, never looked battered or down. Obviously, they do face a 3-goal disadvantage, but again, an entire second half to go. Keystone outscoring its opponents 27-6 across second halves this season. It is, failed to mention this earlier, it is Hannah Osbar into the goal to start the second half. We mentioned it's goalie by committee for this Keystone squad. And Osbar, a 4-3 record on the year.
Goal for Keystone, number 00, Hannah Osbar.
But she has been very solid throughout the year. Comes into today's game, 32 saves on the year, a 1.21 goal against average, and saving over 75% of the shots she has faced. So this was likely the plan all along, but maybe just a slight boost in coming up and meeting some of these goals placed on frame by Lynchburg, a Lynchburg team that had 8 of them placed on goal in the first half. Osbar, the senior goalkeeper, looked to keep Keystone in striking distance. A goal here early in the third would go a long way to changing the dynamic of this game. And setting up here near midfield, firing a pass inside. It was Cicilino looking to go inside too. Belen Rodriguez, again, does have that lone score for Keystone. Rodriguez, that was her 9th goal on the year, a total of 21 points now. Shooting right around 30% on the year. She's the October 24th United East Offensive Player of the Week. 5'2", sophomore from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Certainly enjoying, I should say, a solid sophomore campaign on a deep offense for Keystone. Everybody that makes their way onto the field certainly contributes in a big way. We've seen a lot of things drawn up for Rodriguez today, as well as Maria Tamata and Vicky Manero. They've been the big names on the offensive side of things. Defensively, Lillian Kennedy Butler has been active. Sophomore defender from Bel Air, Maryland, same hometown as Olivia Van Meter. Started all 16, now 17 games for Keystone on the year. Also plays women's lacrosse at Keystone. It's interesting, a defender for this Keystone field hockey team as Schaefer tries to get a hold of a ball inside. Instead, looks like may have caught Tamata. Tamata down on the ground right now speaking with the officials. We'll see if athletic training personnel makes their way onto the field for Keystone. They have not yet. So Tamata may just be a bit shaken up. Again, Schaefer swiping at that shot, may have just caught the shin guard, which certainly does not feel good when it happens. That's obviously why they wear the shin guards in the first place. Tamata now up and walking around, seems to just be shaking that one off. And Keystone will hope so. She's been instrumental today so far in terms of the possession game. Certainly just had an extra bit of juice in her step since the opening whistle. Doesn't have a goal or an assist today, but certainly has been instrumental in today's contest. Lynchburg now testing Osbar for the first time today. Coming in defensively. We'll get you the number here in a moment. Looks like it was Angelina Morley again coming in to save the day. Another defensive save for Angelina Morley. She came into today with 9 on the year as Lynchburg fires another lifted shot. Time is Marlou Vendricks searching for her 20th goal of the season. Take a look at it again. Coming up to meet it's Osbar, but then into the stick of number 13, Angelina Morley, our player to watch. Now diving after that ball was Osbar, but it was left wide by Kanye Mazizi. Lynchburg firing early, trying to pick up goal number 5 and really open this thing up offensively. But Keystone rising to the occasion. You feel like that 5th goal could just be a backbreaker, especially in the 3rd quarter. You certainly, if you're Keystone, want to see yourself be the first team to score here in this second half. Schaefer threads the needle through the legs of her defender, gives off to Mazizi, who's looking inside for Vendricks. Vendricks collided a bit with Kidsey. Ball caroms outside where it is picked up by Schaefer. Schaefer battling there for possession with Miranda Mesa. Schaefer again after a pair of fouls from the visitors. Her pass/shot crossing in front of the goal. Running after it was Boatwright, and she stops it before it goes out of bounds. Now far side of your screen, Riley Weinfordner into the game-winning goal to clinch the ODAC championship this past weekend. 3 goals on the year for the junior defender. All 3 of them have been game winners. He had the lone score in a 1-0 win over Mary Washington midway through the season. One of the more impressive goals you'll see, sneaking her stick in there on a Marlou Vendricks shot, turning that Vendricks shot into an assist. Weinfordner picked up the game-winning goal in a 1-0 decision in-state rivalry over the Eagles of Mary Washington. Again, Keystone gets out of trouble, but they've had their backs to the wall for the majority of this 3rd quarter so far. Just have not generated much in the way of offensive pressure, but Rodriguez trying to change that right now. She's whistled for the foul against Olivia Muir. Quickly, Muir looking ahead, works up to Anna Dolestein. Dolestein to her left. Right-handed dribble, has the pass swiped at by Kidsey. Kidsey hits the turf, back up now. Swings back inside. 1-on-1 goes Kanye Mazizi, trying to free some space for herself. Whiffs on the shot, trying to turn, fire again, and back into the back of the cage. We'll take a look at it again to see who touched it last. I'm nearly positive Erin Boatwright or Marlou Vendricks did get a hand on it. The assist should go to Kanye Mazizi. That's going to be goal number 5 on the day. Lynchburg has opened up a 4-goal advantage with just north of 7 minutes to go. There's the insert from Mazizi, and close. Looks like Boatwright the last to touch it. Goal number 2 of the day for Erin Boatwright. Assist goes to Mazizi. It's the 11th goal of the season and the 2nd of the day for Erin Boatwright, former defender turned all-conference offensive piece. How about a 2-time all-conference defender and then a 2023 first-team all-conference forward? Not a bad career there for number 29, Erin Boatwright. They look to work to her again. This time whistle blows, and it signals a penalty corner, the 3rd of the day for Lynchburg. So 3 penalty corners now, 1 penalty stroke. Trying to generate set pieces for Lynchburg. Hornets have not scored on a penalty corner today, nor has Keystone. Unless you say maybe indirectly. The penalty stroke scored by Sar Prinz did come in the aftermath of Lynchburg generating a penalty corner. So indirectly, we'll say, a score off of the set piece opportunity. But Erin Boatwright going to look to change that and just score one right off the bat here as she goes to her favorite insert piece. Riley Cameron leaves a pass off for Marlu Vendricks, and that ball trickles out of bounds off to the far side. Shot went wide against the goal. And again, Keystone gets out of trouble, but now facing a 4-goal deficit. 21 minutes to go in this game, 6 to go in the third quarter. Pass ahead by Cameron, left for Allie Freeman. She's trying to work it up to Mazizi. It was a bit ahead. Freshman looking to get it to freshman there. Boatwright going to check out. Jenna Tangier's going to come into the game for Lynchburg. Tangier's 3 goals on the season. Senior, also out of Bel Air, Maryland. Enjoying an efficient season as well. 21% shooter this year. On a Dorestein looking to poke the ball away, get out in transition. Dorestein, a big-time shot, and it was placed on frame. What a save by Hannah Osbar. Because man, oh man, Anna Dorestein was looking for one thing there. It was the back of the cage, and she lined that one up on a dime. Osbar rises up to meet it, keeps the score where it's at with under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. On the far side, Keystone trying to apply some pressure against Kayla Brady and the Lynchburg back defensive line. It just has not materialized so far. Hornets have continued to really just put 2 defenders in the far back. Cameron, the farthest back in that center back spot. She has the ball now, or loses track of it, but able to track it down, nobody near. And then Olivia Muir also operating from behind midfield. Muir trying to work it ahead, looking for Micah Uchis. Uchis had her pass meet the stick of Belen Rodriguez on its way to Anna Dorestein. Now Dorestein going to look for the cross. It's knocked away and out of bounds by Morley. Big game from Angelina Morley. Score may not show her defensive performance today, but she has certainly been instrumental in the Keystone effort on this Wednesday afternoon matchup with seasons and careers on the line. Lynchburg, the 5-1 advantage. Just looking to keep Keystone at bay. The Giants still looking for their first second half goal after Lynchburg extended the advantage to a game-high 4. Failed to mention on that last Boatwright score, if memory serves, that is first multi-goal game for Boatwright since early season. She got off to a really fast start through the first several games and then cooled off just a tad. Certainly has been instrumental, especially in dishing out assists this year for the Lynchburg offense, and then takes the majority of the inserts on Hornet corners. I believe that's the first multi-score game, multi-goal game, I should say, in some time for Erin Boatwright. Far side, Keystone will reset for the first time in this third quarter in Lynchburg territory. Sending it back in was Manero. Kidsey trying to track it down and keep it on this side. It goes out of bounds first. Keystone with 2 minutes to go. See if they can cut this deficit back down to 3. And it's that point in the game, you just got to take it 1 goal at a time. Can't look at the 4-goal deficit, but got to just give yourself sort of that goal. Let's put one up before the third quarter ends. Battle for it between Uchis and Miranda Mesha. Mesha resets now for the visitors with 90 seconds to go in the third quarter. Lynchburg has led pretty much wire to wire, got on the board within the game's first 5 minutes. Marlou Vendrick's goal. And then Aaron Boatwright doubled it up in the 8th minute. That right now would be the game winner. Corralling it in the backfield of this attacking half was the star defender, Angelina Morley. Again, listed as a midfielder, but certainly called upon very frequently on defense. I mean, similar to that Riley Cameron role. I mean, operating in a similar spot today as a center back for this Keystone defense. You look at the stat line, the stats reflect that as well. Just seems to sort of be everywhere for this Keystone squad. Lynchburg trying to test the Keystone defense yet again. The shot, or pass I should say, by Micah Uchis caught the leg of her defender. That was Lucia Cicilino. Now, final 10 seconds will come off the clock here on this third quarter, and Lynchburg gonna let them roll off. Final horn will sound with 3 quarters gone by, 45 minutes in the books, and Lynchburg has extended their lead to 4. An Aaron Boatwright goal in the third quarter puts Lynchburg up 5-1. A trip to the NCAA second round and a date with either York or St. Mary's is on the line. 1 quarter to go between Lynchburg and Keystone. We will head to the break by telling you our score. It is Lynchburg 5, Keystone 1.
Department. And employers are increasingly requesting and preferring individuals who have postgraduate education, specifically looking for an MBA. And so the University of Lynchburg Sport Management concentration in the MBA program sets you up for success, and it sets you apart from the many other people looking for jobs in the industry. Learn from winners. Here you will learn from professors and mentors who have spent their careers doing exactly what you want to do. Increase your marketability in an $83 billion industry. If you have a 3.0 GPA, the GMAT is waived. There's no application fee, admissions occurs on a rolling basis, and our online program is ideal for working adults. When you enroll in this program, you enroll in the opportunities to learn from the best of the best. Your professors have a wealth of experience working in the sport industry that they share with you in the classroom setting. Get in the game by getting your MBA with a sport management concentration at the University of Lynchburg. Just you know, Hollywood, here I come. Hey, I meant, yeah.
The real Lindsay Piper's here.
Autographs there later.
All right, my name is Joshua Carr. I am a senior. I am a theater major as well as a history minor. I love the arts. I love acting. I love entertaining. I live in 5th Street, the historic black neighborhood. The money came in, transfer, scholarship, all.
"15 minutes, all that remains to decide this one, and Lynchburg enters the fourth quarter with a 15-1 advantage. Once again, I am Sam Graham broadcasting to you live from Shellenberger Field. This is the last time we will see this Lynchburg field hockey team on Shellenberger Field, win or lose. A win would send them to Newport News, Virginia to face off against the winner of York and St. Mary's. Christopher Newport will host the second and third rounds of this quadrant of the bracket. They will also host the Final Four. So Lynchburg, if this score holds, will be hoping for an extended stay in the eastern portion of the state. Second round set for Saturday, the third to directly follow. Third round set for Sunday. Lynchburg not only 15 minutes away from a trip into the second round, also 15 minutes away from securing just the 4th 20-win season. Probably should not say just in that scenario. 20-win season's hard to come by in field hockey. That would be the stakes for this Lynchburg team as well. And to make that number stand off the page a little more, Lynchburg, that would officially give Coach Steele in this program more 20-win seasons than losing seasons since she took over in 1979. Again, it's a 19-game regular season, so not easy to win 20 games in a year. Lynchburg would improve to 20-2 with a win. Shaken up again is Maria Tomata. She's caught the wrong end of a couple shots throughout this game. The Keystone quickly, obviously with urgency here to start the fourth quarter, trying to set something up. And now with the clock stopped, a reset just outside the semicircle. A decent opportunity for Keystone. They work backwards to Cicilline, who then works it back ahead. Tomata and Cicilline, two-man game. And the Keystone attacking third. Lining up again goes Cicilline. Now Tomata working to her left, scooping a shot across. Brady on the ground to deflect it, and a great save there by Kayla Brady. Double zeros in the cage for Lynchburg. Enjoying the best season of her career, her third year as the starter in goal. Goalkeeper one, if you will, Kayla Brady, the latest in a long line of great goalkeepers. But let's pause a moment as Brooke Highland lines up a shot, and it's batted away. A big save by Hannah Osbar. Second crucial save she's made here since coming into the game to start the second half. Lynchburg looks to continue to apply the pressure. Giants have other ideas. Big pass up ahead is corralled. Pass was given by Cicilline, corralled at first. Looks like by Manero, but then taken back away by Lynchburg. Hornets held a 10-4 shot advantage at the half. That has ballooned to 19-5. Now with 12, just under 13 minutes to go. Take a look at that last save by Kayla Brady. Getting down on the ground, laying her body on the line to keep Keystone from striking for the second time today. Vendricks running after the ball there. Unable to get to it in time. Rolls out of bounds. Far side it is Kidsey. As Keystone continues to probe and look to apply pressure on the offensive side. They did so early in this final quarter. Since then, it's been all Lynchburg over these past 2-3 minutes. Lynchburg 5 shots away from its season average. Only 3 penalty corners for the Hornets on the day. Probably not going to reach that season average of over 9.5. Schaefer works back to Muir, who looks for Mazizi, center of the field. Good job breaking on that ball. Breaking up the exchange between Muir and Mazizi was Tomata. Tomata and Morley have been instrumental in this game for Keystone, among others. Belen Rodriguez certainly in that first half. Didn't call her name a ton in the third, but again, that was the third quarter that Lynchburg began to put its foot down in this game, only added one more goal to the score sheet, but certainly were dominant, opening up a 9-1 shot advantage across those third set of 15. This is only the second time this season that Keystone has given up 5 goals in a game. They lost 5-1 to Marywood University back in mid-September. They have scored at or near 5 goals a number of times. Did that against Kings College, 4 goals against Utica in a win, 4 goals against Gwynedd Mercy in a win. And obviously these last 2 games, combined 13-0 differential through the United East tournament. Keystone winning its first conference championship since moving to the United East. They did have a conference title in the CSAC, their previous conference. This is their second NCAA tournament appearance, both again in the last 5 seasons. And first year for head coach Aaron McGinley. Again, regardless of how this one pans out over the final 10 minutes, her team continuing to fight, continuing to leave it all on the line. They've played a very solid game today. Certainly coming on a hostile environment as well. And Lynchburg playing inspired, last home game of the season. Will not be the last home game that we have on Shellenberger Field this fall. We do have men's soccer coming off of an ODAC championship of their own. They will host the first and second rounds of the 64-team field NCAA men's soccer tournament. Face Ohio Northern on Saturday, 3:30 p.m. right here. Andrew Watson have the call for you. And Messiah, number 1 team in the country, a team Lynchburg met with a season ago in the regular season. They are in this pod hosted by Lynchburg as well, so it could be a big matchup there on Sunday. Here on the field hockey field, Brooke Highland gets in on the scoring action. She got out on the fast break immediately after checking in earlier this half. Now she finds her first goal of the day and smiles all around. Brooke Highland, the energy is up. Cheers ring in from the sideline as Highland will go back to the bench with another goal to her name. She'll give way for Sydney Rowe to come into the contest. And Lynchburg, high fives down the sideline. They have pushed the lead to 6-1. Could be the final insurance goal here with just 8:50 to go and a 5-goal advantage. Keystone team that I've mentioned several times, very good in the second half, but time certainly not in their favor now with seasons on the line. Tamada advancing into Lynchburg territory following the goal. Going to get another Lynchburg substitution. Or excuse me, yellow card handed out. Looks like against, it's going to be against Kanye Mazizi. Now her spirits seem okay, certainly frustrated with herself, but just kind of shaking it off as she made her way to take a seat. It's going to be the first yellow card of the season going against Lynchburg. Mazizi will collect it. Waiting on the official length of the sit-down Mazizi will take. Now jogging towards the sideline is Vicky Manero, and she's going to take a seat as well. So it will not be a man-down opportunity. A pair of infractions, one by each team. It's going to be 2 minutes taking a seat for Manero. She'll have a brief conversation with her coach. Vicky Manero, the senior, could be participating in her final collegiate game. The 5'2" senior from Buenos Aires, Argentina. You never know here in this age of who's going to have that 5th year and then who's going to decide to take it. So it might not be the end of the road for some of these seniors, but again, for some of them, it will be. Always an emotional time of year. I believe we got another card here. Yeah, they have to bring in another chair, so now it is a man-up opportunity for Lynchburg. So they've got Mazizi taking a seat, but it's going to be 2 players having to take a seat for Keystone. The second is Abril Cosalino. She will join Vicky Manero. Conversation with Coach McGinley. Both of those infractions, 2 minutes. Have not gotten the official time on Mazizi's stay on the sidelines. Schaefer will come out for Lynchburg. In comes senior Marina Ndwadny. Lynchburg getting some fresh legs into the game. It's now with under 7 minutes to go, starting to shift the attention ahead to an upcoming battle with either York or St. Mary's. Ndwadny wins possession there to a chorus of cheers from the sideline. Her pass goes ahead for Dorestein. who was unable to really corral that enough to get a shot off, then sort of unintentionally getting in the way of the advances of Keystone as Cicilline is trying to work the ball ahead quickly. They swing near side to Tomata. She goes backwards, gets away from Madison Mark, then collides with Marina Nidwadny. Play resumes. A foul against Keystone, but that's it. Ball works ahead for Sydney Rowe. She'll try to split a pair of Keystone defenders. Now gives off. Good look at a shot. Instead, it's a cross from Madison Mark. Shot comes in from Sydney Rowe, and now balancing along the goal line was Mark. Clarify, Madison Mark, her sister Lauren also on the team. Take a look at it again. Sydney Rowe, the feet ahead to Mark in stride. Her pass goes back to Rowe, and then Rowe's shot off the mark. And then Madison Mark trying to work on cleanup duty. Coming in last second, diving into the goal was Morley. Laying her body on the line to try and keep the goal clean. Not sure if she actually stopped the ball. I think Osbar took care of that on her own. But again, you got to applaud the effort from Morley. Angelina Morley, a pair of defensive saves in this game. Now over 10 on the year. Lynchburg can taste it now. A 5-goal advantage with under 5 minutes to go. Aurora Balsamo back into the game. Most of the Lynchburg starters, except for that back line, Olivia Muir and Riley Cameron still in the game. Good feet ahead, getting out on the break. Belen Rodriguez trying to chase that ball down, but Riley Cameron says, gets to it first. Tries to play it off of Rodriguez and out of bounds. Instead, a foul will go against number 15 in gray. Olivia Muir comes back in, send the ball ahead. It catches the leg of Nidwadny. She was ready to go ahead and keep playing, but foul whistled against Lynchburg. Hornets just trying to keep this score where it's at. Keep Kayla Brady clean in goal, as they've done a great job of here in the second half. Keystone cut the deficit to 3 when they got on the board. Cut the deficit to 2 when they got on the board in the second quarter with the first second frame goal Lynchburg has given up this season. Slight contact between Cameron and Manero there a moment ago. Now hitting the turf is Allie Freeman as she collided with Cicilline. So that's several bump ups throughout the course of this game and several seats taken in the penalty box as well. Mizzi's time is up down there, so nobody left in the penalty box now. It's all clear next to the donkey down below. Lynchburg looking now to wrap up its 8th NCAA tournament win since 2010, 9th appearance in the postseason since that year. Now in close, Aurora Balsamo tries to fire it in. A leaping save made by Osbar. Again, Madison Mark was waiting on the doorstep to try and send that one home after the initial shot by Balsamo was saved, but keeping things clean there in goal was Osbar. He's given up 2 goals in this second half. 1 to Aaron Boatwright, 1 to Brooke Highland. But again, between these pair of goalkeepers for Keystone, they have faced 25 shots on the day. They've made 11 saves on 17 shots on goal for Lynchburg. Slowed down the Lynchburg offense to a certain degree in the first half, and then maybe it's tired legs, hard to say, in this second half, but Lynchburg was able to assert its will a bit. Not necessarily reflected directly in the goal-scoring sheet, but if you're just tracking shots, Lynchburg 15 in the second half, and that's also operating with an advantage compared to just 10 in the first half for the Hornets. They have met their season average in shots per game. It's 24 coming in at 49 shots over the past 2 games. An ODAC championship game and an NCAA tournament first round game, not bad. 49 shots on the board for Coach Steele's club. And what is certainly a special moment for her, certainly bigger fish to fry, as they say. It's just the first round of the NCAA tournament. This is a team with high expectations. Spoke with fifth-year Kessa Romero after Kessa Schaefer. Got to make sure I've got my brain right on that. She got married to former Lynchburg athlete Parker Schaefer. But again, speaking to Schaefer after the ODAC championship game, and she said Final Four appearance would be awesome. Said a national championship would be even better. So all throughout the year, this Lynchburg team kept their eyes on what was directly in front of them. Is picking up a card there is Marina Nadwadny. She will remain seated for the rest of this game. 50 seconds to go as Lynchburg's going to wrap up its 20th win of the season and will advance to the second round of the NCAA tournament. But again, this Lynchburg team done a great job throughout the year keeping their eyes on first things first, ODAC play. You speak to Coach Steele, she'll tell you too. First things first, who's next on the schedule? Let's take care of them and let's make sure we're keeping all our goals attainable. She said it's all about the performance goals, not the outcome goals. How many penalty corners can we have? How many shots can we have? What shot percentage can we achieve? Keep your eyes on that, and the wins will probably follow suit, and that's exactly what has happened here in her 45th and final season. As Keystone will set up for a penalty corner. Just their second of the game. They'll go to Cicilline, whose shot ricochets off the boot of Kayla Brady in what may be the final save she makes on Shellenberger Field with just 25 seconds to go in this game. Brady, they got the best of her early in the day. Since then, she's been perfect. 3 saves on 4 shots placed on goal, 75% save percentage for the senior. And once again, Olivia Muir in the far corner gonna dribble out the remainder of the clock. The time ticks off. Lynchburg takes to the field, and the Hornets have won 20 games for the 4th time in program history. Head coach Enza Steele, in her 45th season at the helm, she played her first home game on Shellenberger Field in 1979, collected her first home win on Shellenberger Field in that same year, and now playing in her final career game on beautiful Shellenberger Field, she has win number 665, and her team is going to keep on dancing. Lynchburg into the second round of the NCAA tournament. They await the winner of either York or St. Mary's. If it's York, it would be a rematch of an early season battle. Lynchburg and York, a top 10 battle. Lynchburg took the win 2-0 in that one. Again, York and Keene, a pair of teams Lynchburg is familiar with. They played them this year. Christopher Newport, a team Lynchburg played a season ago. They're all in the same quadrant, so a high degree of familiarity in this portion of the bracket for this Lynchburg team. But for right now, all that's left to do is wait to see who they will play when they travel to Newport News for the second round of the NCAA tournament. That is set for this Saturday. But for now, we'll leave you off by telling you our score. It was Lynchburg 6, Keystone 1. Lynchburg improves to 20-2 on the season, and they have got their 8th NCAA tournament win since 2010. One more time, I am Sam Graham. It's been a blast bringing you Lynchburg field hockey on Shellenberger Field all season long. We'll see where the road takes us the rest of the way, but Lynchburg hoping to stay in Newport News as long as it can. So one last time from our entire crew, the best student crew, the best athletic communication department. Again, we're biased in the country here. This LHSN crew put on a fantastic show today. They've done so all season long. So our extended thanks and gratitude to everybody on this team. Director Kyle doing a great job, as always, right behind me. Obviously, Sports Information Director Tim LaDuca, Director of Digital Media Sam Rice, and our entire team. We thank you for tuning in. And until next time, we will see you later. We are signing off as Lynchburg wins it and advances to the second round.